Welcome to the Michigan Short-Term Rentals Podcast. My name is Tony Stancato, here with my co-host, Jordan Painter. What's up, man?
Dude, every time we jump on a podcast, it's like, where's Waldo? Where's Tony today? Where are you at?
Yes, sir. Oklahoma City, baby. Stayed a couple days in Kansas City as well. So my nephew has a first birthday coming up. So we kind of found this place in Oklahoma City and decided to swing by there and drop off some presents and celebrate his birthday a little early. So it was a good time. I will say Kansas City, maybe we were looking too late, but you guys got to step up your STR game. I don't know if they're not allowed, but there didn't seem to be many. And the ones that were available definitely did not seem to be on point. Lindsay sent me this one, and it had a sign, "Let the fun begin." Dude, there was not a lick of fun in that entire place. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? You know? So ended up staying in a hotel there, not trying to stay in an Airbnb, but just didn't have great options. So I think there's a lot of cities out there where somebody can go in and really, bring one of those epic rentals and just crush.
Yeah, maybe that's our next market to target then.
Yeah. So, and then today, actually, the Airbnb that I am staying at today in Oklahoma City actually prompted this podcast, and it's titled "Don't Get Tired." So we were looking last minute for a spring break trip, and kind of stumbled across this one in Oklahoma City, 150 reviews, almost all 5 stars. I mean, this thing looks awesome. I mean, it is got some good curb appeal, has a pond, a hot tub. I mean, just looks awesome, right? So I'm like, I'm booking it. The price was like unbelievable. I'm like, can't go wrong here, right? So in Oklahoma City, never been. The city skyline looked amazing. So I'm like, dude, we're going to Oklahoma City. So don't get tired. Pulled up, and you just kind of, when you pulled up, you're like, man, this doesn't look exactly like it does in the pictures, right? The landscaping, I don't know if it's just because we're coming off of, the winter months here. I don't know what it's like in Oklahoma City for the winter. I'm sure, stuff can still get a little tired, but you're just like, man, the outside just didn't have that curb appeal, needs some refresh on landscaping. Jordan, I know you love your landscaping. I've kind of been anti-landscaping in the past. I don't see that stuff, but then I heard that statement that says for every $1 you put into landscaping, you're going to get 5 back on the back end. So now, hey, I'm seeing landscaping. Talk to me about landscaping.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like anything in life that you only get one chance at a first impression. And when you pull up, that's the first thing you see. And so, I think you're kind of setting the standard for what you're going to see inside. And I think it sounds like this is a great example of you pull up and you see, hey, this looks tired. It's not like it is in the pictures. And then what do you do when you get inside, Tony? You're looking, right? You're looking for more. Okay, what else aren't they keeping up?
Yeah. And I will say too, so they have this awesome pond in the back, looks very, very epic. Has in the photos, it had this fireplace or this fire pit, and like just some great areas for the fire pit overlooking the pond. And then you get to the pond in the back and you're like, okay, well, the pavers they're all in disarray, right? And the fire pit just isn't what it was portrayed to be. So you're like, dude, I mean, that would be a pretty easy fix to get that where it needs to be, but somebody's got to come put some love in that. But yeah, number 2, boom, you go inside and I'm like, man, dude, like the trim in the place, especially in the kitchen, and in the stairs, the trim, just marks everywhere. Obviously it is a rental, 150 reviews. So, I mean, it's been used. But I mean, just the paint is just like, there's so many touch-ups needed that it it's off, So it, again, kind of adds to that vibe of like, okay, like nobody's paid. But I will say too, in my mind, I'm like, shoot, I'm a believer in Justin Ford, and it's like, okay, dude, if y'all ain't paying attention to this, is it also a safe place? So, I mean, I can't, that has crossed my mind a couple times. Okay, when's the last time the furnace, has been inspected, or, is there a carbon monoxide detector and all that stuff? So you just get the vibe that like, dude, they're not paying as much attention as they should.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned trim first. That's one of the areas that we really try to focus on when we're prepping houses for sale, especially if it's white. You see all those little dings and scuffs and marks in it, and it's incredible how much just a fresh little coat of paint on trim can clean a place up. I mean, it really is. It stands out more than you think, just from the overall like aesthetic perspective. So, fresh coat of paint doesn't cost that much money, and it really is. I mean, what do you think? Every 2 to 3 years max, you got to be repainting the interior of these places.
I mean, for touch up, I would say, I mean, you should be doing that every, before peak season and after peak season. And then again, before peak season, just staying on top of it, versus having to do a full repaint would go a long ways. But you could also see where there was like, oh, maybe there was a couple leaks here, or a couple leaks there, and then they patched it, but they didn't paint it. So now you just got patches everywhere, and you're like, dude, like, come on. So, but yeah, you got to stay on top of that paint, keep a couple cans here, have your maintenance guy. I mean, they got a maintenance guy's number on there. Like, he should be coming in. It probably cost, hey, a few $100 for a day's worth of labor to just get that dialed in and looking fresh.
So next one is going to be the mechanicals. One of the things that Tony had mentioned, is just the water filters. So like on our refrigerator at home, that thing beeps at you once the filter is expired. If I went into a short-term rental and that thing's beeping at me, that is, again, it's another one of those things where it's like, you want fresh, clean drinking water, and it's just one more thing piling up that's not been done, that just kind of gives you the impression that, hey, what else are we missing? Especially like Tony said, when it comes to the mechanical stuff, man, if they're not switching the water filter, when was the last time the carbon monoxide detectors were checked, and the furnace and all that kind of stuff? So I'm actually getting a little bit concerned at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And then lo and behold too, obviously the dishwasher also had a little leak on it. So, I mean, again, just making sure your handyman is staying on top of that. I'm sure guests have mentioned, oh, hey, the dishwasher leaks. Like, let's get this stuff taken care of here. Like Jordan said, you're just like, okay, like, what all is getting missed at this property, right? So number 4, just the small things. When you're hosting that many people, there's a lot of, call it lamps, vases, dishes, all these little detail items, and even like the pictures. I swear, dude, I walk into this place, every lampshade is crooked. I'm like, it's got to be hard to make sure that every single lampshade is crooked, dude. Every lampshade's crooked. The picture, Lindsay spent the first 10 minutes just fixing, adjusting all the pictures on the wall. So you're just like, come on, man, like, somebody's got to be paying attention to this. And it's just like, again, I mean, they're half-assing it, right? If you want to call it what it is, they're half-assing it, and literally lifted up this little lid on this vase, dude. And it the vase just crumbled. Somebody had already probably put it back together, and it's just like, dude, nobody's paying attention. And it's sad because this place, dude, I'm like, I almost want to buy this place because it's got this sweet vibe to it. It used to be a church in 1986. I think they outgrew the church in 1990, but just has this great curb appeal, man. I mean, it looks awesome, dude, and they're really missing the boat. And I think they could really, drive a lot more revenue if they were to kick it up a notch.
Yeah. So then the last one would be bedding, right? So, at a certain point, bedding is just, it's spent, right? And you know it when you see it, when you get into a bed and the sheets just, there's a certain point where you just aren't getting them clean anymore, and the stains aren't getting out, and you start to see the threads start to pull loose. So just making sure that you're paying attention to those things. The cleaners, when they're making the beds, you got to train the cleaners to know when it's time to start to signal to you to buy the new bedding and sheets and pillows and pillowcases. So it's funny, we just stayed, a group of my friends went up to our hotel up in Grayling this last weekend, and we stayed there. And that's one of the best ways to really test out your property and work out the kinks and try to figure out, the shower's draining slow, or the dishes. We need more dishes for this group of people. We need a trash can solution. We were filling up the trash can there every 6 seconds, right? So sometimes you just got to go stay in your property and really start to pay attention to the details to feel what the guest is experiencing. And it seems like if the owners of the property you're staying in, Tony, would do that, they would see all this stuff and probably work towards getting it addressed.
Yeah, and I did have to call her a couple times just because my code wouldn't work. But I think it's a California number too, so I don't know if she lives in California and just doesn't make it out here nearly as often as she should. But that's one of the things with being a long distance owner. Like, how are you going to make sure that you're putting eyes on it? You should really come and stay once a year at least, make sure you get a nice little to-do list to get it where it needs to be. And that's it. So I just wanted to jump on here again, just book this place. It made me think, like, dude, just don't get tired. Don't let your property get tired. Make sure you're adamant about holding a level of standard where people will really, talk highly of that property and want to go back. Do you think I would ever, honestly, it's a fine place to stay, but I'm never going to really want to come back based on the initial experience here. So, it's a short-sighted. You're not playing the long game. So definitely something to keep in mind.
And that's going to start showing up in the reviews long-term. So
yeah, might start showing up right about now. So yeah. All right. Until next time.